strip anybody of all their designations, all their titles, all their this thing, throw them into an empty room with no internet, no phones. Somebody does this for a living. ये रोज का रोज करना किसी का काम है. If you have to come and sit and think of ideas, किसको नहीं चाहिए?
Welcome to Creative Talkative with Ketki Tewary.
Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this. There's no topping this. Time to explain what's in our veins, what's in our minds. Take a peek into these lives. Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this. There's no topping this.
Today on Creative Talkative, we are getting talkative with Harshad Rajadhyaksha. A passionate and eternal lover of advertising, he has soaked in work cultures at various ad agencies like Grey, DDB Mudra, JWT and Leo Burnett. As the Chief Creative Officer of Ogilvy Mumbai, he has done wonders by bringing home some of the world's best advertising awards, which include Cannes, Effies, One Shows, D&AD and Clio. Welcome to a warm and gooey talk with a very dear friend on a lazy Sunday afternoon. Today's episode of Creative Talkative is a very special episode. I would in fact like to say it's a 24 karat gold episode. That's because I am going to be speaking with someone who I think has won more golds for all his work and contribution in the advertising industry than anyone I know. I think as a human being, he has a heart of gold. And with him, I'm going to be reliving some of the most beautiful and golden years of my life. Hi, Harshad.
Hi Ketki, and that was a glowing golden introduction, but
thank you.
Genuinely have to say that it seems far more golden than it actually is. So.
No. First tell me, how do you feel?
About this?
Yes.
Very excited and very daunted also because I haven't done anything like this before. So.
But if you're expecting me to say that, thanks for taking the time out and all, I'm not going to do that. Because I think we live 300 meters from each other,
yes.
But we still never find the time to meet. So, in fact, I won't be wrong if I say that you are the inspiration for the show. I kept thinking, how is it that I can meet Harshad? Then I said, हाँ ठीक है, एक show करते हैं, and then we'll find a good opportunity.
उसी बहाने वो कहीं भागेगा नहीं.
हाँ, कहीं भागेगा नहीं उसको पकड़ के, and we'll sit and chat. To fill everyone in who doesn't know, I think I've made it very obvious that I have a very casual and a warm relationship with Harshad. It's not, and I can't be very formal with him because we go back 35 years?
1992?
92.
That's like 30 years.
So we both went to the same college.
Yes.
We graduated in the same year. Of course, you topped the university.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, in terms of even, I got the news when I had already started working, so that's when I realized that, I've topped the university.
But by the way, me maage nahote, I was second, I stood second in the university. So I was just after you. You got the call and then they called me.
Yes. So, I remember I was at Mudra and I remember we had gone to a convocation at the Mumbai University.
Yes, but I must say that life in JJ was I think those were rightly the most amazing golden years.
Those are the real golden years.
They are, right?
They are completely. And remember when other people would ask us कि तुम लोग का exams चल रहा है तो paper कभी खत्म होगा? And we would be like कल शाम को. And they would be completely dazed. क्या है मतलब तुम लोग का paper आज सुबह शुरू हो रहा है कल शाम को?
अरे some of the papers would be Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And we never even bothered about fashion or, in fact, I still remember all of us, I always had those 3-4 pairs of clothes. Which were set, Monday to Friday. And तुझं तर मला आठवतंय अजून.
I had that big jhalla yellow ochre thing.
You had your 3 shirts, yellow ochre, your red shirt, and you had one grey-green shirt.
Yes.
ते तिन्ही shirts, मला अजून आठवतंय the conversations we have had. I don't remember a lot of the conversations, but I remember the shirt.
The blob that was grey. I wasn't this big a blob, but I remember I used to wear them like tents.
Yeah, and I remember your home. Which was I think one of the best homes I've been to.
And actually after so many years, it's been 20 years since I left that place.
Yeah.
Now it almost seems surreal that I was staying over there.
The interesting fact that Rudyard Kipling was born in that so tell me a little more about that.
I'd actually gone to that place for the first time. Without even realizing, I just thought it was one big green house. A beautiful house which looked like a fairy tale house. I was myself very small.
Yeah.
Never did I imagine then that one day I would come to call that home for well over 12 years. And later on, to realize that the thing that we all enjoyed, Jungle Book,
Yeah.
the brain which came up with that idea, the man who wrote that book,
Yeah.
that British author, that Nobel-winning British author was actually born in that house.
It was
And then, of
fantastic.
course, by then, college and early college years, we had gotten exposed to his other work.
Yeah.
It so happens that Kipling's If, has been my all-time most inspiring poem to go back to. At any stage in life, in any decade, it keeps having these nuggets which are like so inspiring. And then to feel that this man's vibe, the brain which wrote something as beautiful as If,
Yeah.
I'm living in the same rooms, I'm climbing the same staircase, I'm going and, outside, you can go and touch the tree that probably predates Kipling over there. He has mentioned that banyan tree which used to be in our campus.
Yes.
So that was a surreal feeling.
There was an owl, I still remember,
Yes.
which used to sit there and would not move. So we had named that owl Rudyard. I remember that my love for advertising kind of grew as we moved towards the final year. But your love affair with advertising started much before JJ, I believe,
Yes, roughly when I was in class 6th or 7th, I started getting interested in these big fat books that I would find lying around in my home. It had a strange, I didn't even know it was called a logo, it had a strange picture of a pencil with 2 points on either side, which I thought was very cool. In big titles, the word would say the one show. I found that grammatically very odd. But nonetheless, I kept on going through them.
Right.
And that's when, even without realizing, I'd started studying advertising without even realizing, and I was enjoying it. And somewhere I started realizing, somewhere later down the years, that hey, this is not just fun to read. Somebody does this for a living. ये रोज का रोज करना किसी का काम है. And from that point on, I wanted that job.
Wow.
If you had to come and sit and think of ideas, किसको नहीं चाहिए?
So, Harshad, I believe that you have won more awards than campaigns that you have worked on. I really think, hats off to the kind of work you're doing. And I don't think like I said, I don't say that enough, but every time I see something that you have done, I just feel so amazing. It's like, wow. Harshad is not only, it's like you're up there for a reason and you're really making a difference. You're really making this world a much better place by everything that you're doing day after day after day.
Thank you, Ketki, for saying that. It's very heartening to hear. And I will humbly take my share of it, but I have to state it because we are on camera, we are on this thing, and it's only not because it's the right thing to say. But frankly, yes, I'm very proud of all the awards that we have won. But here, everything that you must have seen over there. One is Integral is my work partner, Kenaz, of course, who
Yes.
you know.
I know Kenaz,
You
yes.
all worked together once upon a time. And
Yes.
we take pride in being like the engine of the process, right? Creative is like the engine room of the thing. But honestly, on every single award that we pick up now, besides, of course, Kenaz and me and our immediate teams and our servicing teams, but it's really like mounting a production.
So, of all the brands for which you've won awards, done great work, any particular brand, or I know it's like choosing your favorite child among all your children, because at the end of the day we all know that it's like you're giving birth to your own child, but I'm sure some of the brands or some of those campaigns would be really close to your heart.
I think 2-3 brands which instantly come to mind would be Savlon, ITC Savlon,
Yes.
where I think our team won big time for something called Savlon Healthy Hands Chalk Sticks.
Yes.
It was based on a simple thing that पढ़ाई करने के बाद हाथ पे chalk की powder रहती है, and then of course before you eat anything or whatever you have to go and wash it off under the village tap or wherever, school tap. So he came up with that what if, which was so brilliant and which is what we loved. He said, वो उसके अंदर ही हम लोग साबुन mix करे थे. It was such a simple
like
idea.
a product innovation
Yeah.
of the...
And such low-tech but high-impact product innovation, we took it to the client and then it became
And
what
that
it did.
inside, ki mula haath dhoot nahi.
Correct.
They will not wash their hands.
Yes,
How
and
much
you
ever
cannot
say.
teach them.
Your designation is CCO, which is Chief Creative Officer, am I right?
Yes.
I would like to think of it as CPO because I think you're more of a Chief Problem Solving Officer. There are very few sort of agencies which give these kind of leadership positions to creatives. You think that really encourages a lot of young creative minds to kind of...
If you look at any of the legendary names of agencies which have ruled the roost and international names, so take our own Ogilvy, headed by David Ogilvy, Leo Burnett, It could be Wyden and Kennedy.
Yeah.
It could be Saatchi and Saatchi. All the legendary names that have been there. It could be take absolutely anything and everyone. Who are these people? These people were not some finance directors. These were not some bankers who decided to make money of advertising.
Correct.
They were people passionate about creatives. They were creatives. So the reality is, those people passionately believed in creating something which was different and stood out in the clutter, and they ended up setting their own shops. But including me, I don't think we naturally tend to jump into the business end of things as creatives.
So speaking of being sensitive, so we are supposed to be the sensitive lot of people, the creative ones.
Very emotional and easily hurt.
Absolutely.
And easily overjoyed.
Overjoyed also, excited also, yeah. But, you know, I'm just thinking that in today's day and age, everyone has become so super sensitive, you know, and people have become very unforgiving. So on social media or anywhere, you know. So as a creative person, how do you think that affects, so when you create something?
Simply saying, yes, it's a reality, it's the elephant in the room which everybody has to address.
Correct.
The major point that I'm making to your question is people feel empowered that they have the right to lash out at anything. They also, on the other side, they can also praise your work when they love it. But you end up annoying even a small percentage, they can make it cascade into a movement. Bill Burnett had said that so often do we become victims to, or you know, hostages to findings of results, not in these words, that we forget that the world might say one thing about a certain idea, but we forget that we are that special breed of people who actually have been given the power to change how they think.
Right.
So सिर्फ ज़माना क्या कहेगा उसके हिसाब से तुम काम बदलते बैठो, उससे you have something else in your hands, which is ऐसा काम करो कि उनका mindset बदल जाए.
More responsibility, I think every creative person should shoulder. Who is your favorite? Harshad as a creator, as the boss, as the leader, or as a judge? You've also judged. So who is
instinctively creator, because that is what everything else is. I know it sounds like some spiritual gyan or whatever, but everything else is incidental.
It does, huh? It puts you on this like I'm him pedestal.
Whatever that is, that pedestal is different. But I think
No,
anything peripheral, na?
Yeah.
Because if you lose that bit, na, if you strip anybody of all their designations, all their titles, all their this thing, throw them into an empty room with no internet, no phones, and tell them ये problem है, ये आगे के आधे घंटे में crack करने का है. If at that point you can come out with a solution, you can be whatever you want. उसके बाद में वो designation नहीं रहेगा, कुछ नहीं रहेगा, you can build yourself up all over again. But वो अगर नहीं रहेगा, you're stumped and saying ये क्या करो इसका, then you're gone.
Yeah,
so I think
absolutely
that
right. That is a very beautiful thing that you just said. Work-life balance, is that a myth or a reality?
It's a real problem. But I guess, I mean, it's not like some, this is specific to communication or advertising, especially with the kind of years that we have all seen. Na? I mean, everybody in personal life and professional life, सबको affect हुआ है. And the toll that working from home has taken, or people having to do household chores and continue delivering on work excellence and targets,
Correct.
obviously होने वाला है. So work-life balance has been that much more difficult in the past 2 years for everyone.
But generally tell me, like weekends, if you get time off, then what is it that you love to do?
Watch a movie. I don't have the patience anymore to read books, though I would love to.
You cook?
No, nothing. In the time when I used to eat non-vegetarian, I would at least try my hand at, you know, basic egg dishes. I would make a good scrambled egg or a good omelette or whatever.
Correct.
But it's been a long time since I gave up that also, so nothing. Cornflakes and milk is as about, or making a decent sandwich I can do.
Okay. Apart from being a great creative person, creating visual ideas, you are great at photography. You write so well. So you're this handle, close shave called Mumbai, which is something which I love. And you know what is most interesting about those pictures and those lines for me is that I can't decide every time I look at something whether the picture is better or the line is better. They're always fighting for attention, you know. How do you manage that, like, all the time?
Actually, that album has been in existence for almost 6 years now. This is completely to the credit of the profession that I grew up in. It's again advertising Meri Jaan, simply. why, you know, what people probably don't realize is this is what we are trained for. And now that, sadly, the classic era of print advertising has taken a backseat.
Yeah.
When we graduated out of JJ, you remember, print was the ruling medium. And what was a great print ad that it was a terrific blend of creating a potent attention grabber by having the right balance of a provocative line and a visual. But what I started intuitively doing with captioning is something which advertising taught me. Because advertising mein to wahi hota hai na, you suddenly see, for example, when you put a headline, the complexion of a picture completely changes. So basically the essence of what does advertising taught us, or the classic one where you saw a Volkswagen Beetle and it said lemon and then it made the point. That you see a picture which you've seen thousands of times, but that one line changes the complete way you look at the picture.
But still, you know, nothing takes away from the fact that you are a brilliant writer, because even on Twitter, where there are no visuals, you know, one can just go on scrolling at things you've written, and it is, one thing is better than the other. So again, one question that I've always wanted to ask you, and I'm using this sort of show to ask you, is that if you were to, you know, in the future, write a book, okay, you think you will write about your experiences? Will it be stories? Will it be a photography book on a close shave called Mumbai? Or will you just write, like, you know, brilliant, like, things like one-liners, jaise Gyan ke Moti, which, you know, will be a part of our library? Really?
I think that one-liner was more laziness. I used to love writing. I still love writing. I would like to make a book of one-liners because I think it is just low investment, high impact kind of snackability for the reader. That's not proper reading. That's not like some deep writing. But the thing is, I would like to write about life. The simple answer is that. Because life, again, I never intended it to be a poem. But from what I remember, I'd written something, it came to mind right now. Both of us drink from the same cup of time. Yet why does yours taste so much different than mine? Like these observations, I think these human insights
are priceless.
Are what I think makes us tick in this profession. This profession is all about human insights, and I think that is what I love.
Let us tell you what we wanna say, not about just getting paid or achieving fame. It's about the everyday, blood, sweat and tears, dreams and fears, everything you gotta hear. Listen, from the first steps to the final leap, making headlines in history. How they did it, it's no mystery. Take a seat, honestly. Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this, there's no topping this. Time for honesty with some novelty. Sit down with KT, you just hit the lottery.
Hope you had as much fun listening as we did talking. Do subscribe for updates on our upcoming episode out every Friday. Like, share and follow us on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, as well as creativetalkative.com. That's creative with a K.